Hello everyone, Dominic here from Esports News UK, back with another monthly hardware update with our expert from Alpha Beta PC. It's Alex, who's a technical consultant slash guru. Thanks for joining me again, Alex.
Hey Dom, how you doing? Glad to be back.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you? How are things? You've been busy,
good.
haven't you?
Yeah, very busy. We've been trying to organise this for like the last 2 weeks. It's just been crazy. I mean, obviously with Alder Lake pending and stuff like that, and what have you, and PC Retail Awards are recent as well, and there's just been a lot of PC stuff going on lately, so it's just been chaotic.
Absolutely, and speaking of those, what we're going to be chatting about today, eco-friendly gaming PCs, how to ensure your PC is eco-friendly. We're going to be chatting about Ikea's new gaming hardware. That's a weird one. That's not a crossover I would have expected. Razer have got loads of new products which we're going to be talking about. The PCR Awards you mentioned, Alex, like who's the best in the business at the moment, which companies should be on our radar as esports fans. Some esports collabs, Dota 2 International coming up. They've got a hardware partnership, and then we've got a cool giveaway as well at the end today.
Yes, we do.
Stick around, everyone. We've got some cool game codes and bits and pieces from Alex. So first of all, then, Alex, eco-friendly gaming PCs. This is more of a prevalent thing nowadays. How can a gamer? Why should they be eco-friendly? I guess first of all.
I mean, obviously, climate change is a huge issue. There's, I know there's a lot of different people have their opinions on this, and it can be get into a very deep-rooted conversation about it. But we do know that climate change is an issue. That's a fact. And there are a lot of PCs in the world, definitely. And if you're not just talking personal computers, systems in general. I mean, companies have huge infrastructure, and the amount of cooling that it takes, which is predominantly air conditioning, is has quite a significant impact, obviously, on the surroundings, our climate and what have you. And it's a good thing to be mindful of our carbon footprint.
So tell us how a gamer could maybe get started with this, Alex. What should they consider with their components? Because as I understand it, graphics cards have got more energy efficient over the years anyway.
I mean, obviously there is a heavy reliance on manufacturers to provide the energy efficiency for their products. That's something we can't have a direct effect on. But there's plenty of things as gamers you can do to get involved in reducing that carbon footprint and stuff like that. And some of these things can be quite fun as well. As hardware enthusiasts, as tech enthusiasts, there's hooking up solar panels and stuff like that to power certain things that I have solar panels powering things like Raspberry Pis and stuff like that with mini solar panels and stuff. There are certain things you can do, and it's an enjoyable project as well to get into. Obviously, so even purchasing secondhand components can help, because reduction in manufacturing and what have you. And there is a lot that you can do. Power settings, making sure you're not leaving your computer on, all these sort of bits and pieces. There's obviously industry and large companies are the ones who do produce the highest. You have server rooms that are air conditioned, and these things are huge. Some buildings are complete floors of computers with air conditioning. So that's going to be where there's going to be a greater impact with these companies and industries that look at finding better solutions to help cool their infrastructure. Obviously, air conditioning is great for cooling, but it has a negative impact on the climate.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, if there's easy tips, you've mentioned power saving options, and people should look in their power saving options. I think my monitor goes off however long, and my PC goes on to sleep after whatever it is, an hour I've been unused. I'm looking at my PC is quite minimal inside. I don't have many flashy lights. Now you've got some cool lights on a PC near you. Can you have eco-friendly lights, or does it save energy to just turn all that off?
I mean, the lights, if you remember back in the day, we used to use cathodes and stuff like that. They were obviously used up a lot more power. LEDs are obviously significantly lower wattage and lower power. So if you are using lights, obviously LEDs are a lot better than using the old kind of cathode tubes and fluorescent lighting and stuff like that we had previously. So that can make a big difference, just in terms of that, you know. And you're talking very minimal wattage as well, in terms of LED power. You know, most LEDs are 2 watts or so, or what have you. It's a very minimal amount in comparison to what your most gamers are going to be chugging out in terms of graphics cards and CPUs and all these bits and pieces, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's definitely possible to be eco-friendly. Like I said, I've seen setups where people run their entire houses off of things like solar panels and stuff, and Tesla batteries and stuff like that, you know. And you know, I mean, most gaming PCs, as you say now, manufacturers have reduced, you know, power requirements, which is obviously a bonus for us as well, because I mean, superconductivity, you know, like the cooler we can get them to run, the less heat being generated, the more efficient, more powerful we can get these semiconductors, you know.
I know that some components, well, I know that peripherals like monitors usually come with an energy efficiency rating.
Yes.
A being the best one, I think, or something like that. Do you get, you know, when people are buying components, is there a similar thing for hard drives?
On power supplies, generally, yes. On power supplies, you get the different, you know, bronze, silver, gold, 80 plus, and all those sort of things in terms of their efficiency. You know, so power supplies are the main one where you'll find those power efficiency markers. You know, like you get for A plus and all those sort of things, and what have you for homes and various other electronic components, you know. But I do think it's definitely an interesting concept, and we have discussed it at Alpha Beta PC about actually, you know, having some kind of energy efficiency rating for our systems, which a lot of people don't really seem to do, because there is a certain demographic that's quite conscientious about what they're purchasing, and you know, they do take those things into consideration. So it's definitely something that I think needs to be more looked at in terms of going forward, you know.
Yeah, I completely agree. Completely agree. And talking about energy efficiency and eco-friendly, you know, Ikea is a brand that's known for its sort of, you know, more affordable pricing in furniture, and it's flat packed. You've got to put it together yourself most of the time. They've announced a gaming range, which I found was pretty unexpected the other week.
I mean, you know, there is definitely a big gaming culture in Sweden. Obviously, you get DreamHack and stuff like that and things and what have you. So, I mean, I'm guessing there's definitely some people at IKEA that have, you know, some nerds, shall we say, and some gamers that have pushed this forward. And I think the more availability of this stuff, the better. I mean, we've gaming furniture, you know, and you know, chairs and desks and things like that. We've really started to see something good in the last decade, I'd say. Prior to that, I mean, it was crap. I mean, you know, it was awful. Like, I mean, you know, I'm sorry to any manufacturers that manufactured gaming chairs in the early 2000s and what have you, but they were terrible. You know, it was really just a case of getting a chair, any kind of chair, and sticking some sort of gaming related logo or something on it, and it was, I mean, they were awful. You know, desks were never really, all the desks were really considered just office desks. You know, you had the slidey keyboard bit and stuff like that. Nothing was really, there was nothing really tailored for gamers, you know, and gamers are very critical about their setups when it comes to furniture. You know, there's, I mean, I know I am. I'm very specific about the height of my desk, the height of my chair. You know, like where my mouse is located, how far I'm reaching from the. I'm very, very critical about my sort of setup in my environment. You know, more so than if I'm just working on a desk in general. And you know, it's nice to see that a big company like IKEA is actually going to try and offer up something, and I hope it does well, to be honest, because I hope it will encourage more companies to produce, you know, better quality sort of gaming furniture and stuff like that for people, because yeah, I mean, it's been very, very lacking. Razer's obviously got the Iska, which is a lovely chair. I've sat in the Iska. You know, I'm predominantly a Herman Miller fan, because they just make incredible chairs.
Yeah, I've got, this is a Noble chairs, which is not quite nice. Shout out to those guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have been told that Herman Miller is very good for your posture and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've had my Herman Miller for about a decade, and it's just a fantastic chair. You know, it's very, you know, there's an element of me that would like to go and try and own a gaming chair, but the problem is I just, until this chair dies now, it's going to be with me, you know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of difficult to go and what have you. Obviously, we've got some at the offices. We get sent them from various brands and stuff like that. I've sat in the Isker, and I think the Isker is very nice in terms of chairs. Like and like I say, it forces everybody to bring their game up when somebody releases something that's, you know, a bit better than the rest. You know.
Yeah.
So I haven't been to IKEA because I just don't like going to IKEA.
No, I don't.
I get dragged along sometimes, and it's, you know, kicking and screaming. I mean, not, you know, IKEA equipment and hard furniture and stuff like that's great. I have, I think it's a great brand and what have you. I just don't like going furniture shopping.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm completely the
I
same.
prefer to do all my shopping online. So, you know, but it would be nice. I have considered popping down to have a look if I go past an IKEA, so I may stop in and just check it out, because now I kind of have a bit more of a reason to go, you know?
Yeah.
So,
You are right. Gaming setups are very personal to gamers. It's very personal to them, so I completely get that. Elsewhere, Alex, Razer, I received press release after press release from Razer, and they've got a bunch of new products out. Basilisk 3 customizable gaming mouse, Huntsman V2 keyboard, and the Wolverine V2 Chroma, a new advanced pro controller with, I mean, like, you know, lights on it and stuff.
Yeah, Razer are really just releasing a lot at the moment. The Basilisk is the mouse I was trying to remember last time, which I was considering replacing my G700 with. And it's a very similar design to the G700, so I think it's highly likely that I will probably replace with the Basilisk. There's a couple of interesting new features they've added, like the I can't remember what they call it, velocity control scroll wheel or something like that, which is where it kind of detects how fast you're moving the wheel, and then it will scroll the page accordingly. If it's, you know, it will scroll it several steps if you're scrolling it slowly, and it will scroll it a larger amount if you're scrolling it quickly and stuff like that. I believe Logitech tried a similar thing a while back, which also had, you know how you have the ability to click the wheel and change it from like a ratchet mechanism to a smooth roll. I remember I can't remember which Logitech it was, but it did it automatically, and that was actually quite nice. I quite enjoyed that, because it meant that when I alt tabbed out into a web browser from a game, it would automatically detect, obviously, the window of Firefox or Chrome or whatever else browser I was using. And it sounds really lazy, because realistically all you had to do was click a button to change it, but there was just something nice about it being automated, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't, you know, the Razer one's slightly different, where it actually detects and it calculates how fast you're spinning the wheel as to how much of the page will scroll. So I'm interested to see that. I mean, it's hard to see a lot of advances in mice and keyboards, especially at the moment. I think the biggest advance in keyboards is obviously moving to very mechanical ones nowadays. You know, I feel mice have kind of stagnated. So anything new that comes along always piques my interest, because I just want a new reason to buy a new mouse. That's
the thing I was going to ask about this, right? Have we reached a point in gaming and PC gaming, sort of the culture and the technology, that, you know, a new controller, a new keyboard, a new mouse, they're new products, but are they new beyond, you know, the name of it and maybe a couple of little features? It's like getting a new FIFA game, isn't it? It takes about 4 or 5 iterations to really get an evolution.
Yeah. Does it offer any kind of new kind of advantage, you know? It's hard to say. I mean, I think we have reached a very kind of plateau in terms of mice and keyboards, definitely. I don't know where we go from here. I guess the next step is realistically, obviously, virtual reality stuff, where you're controlling with your hands or movement sensors and stuff like that, you know, which will probably overtake mice when it becomes a more standardized kind of, and you can be as because obviously there's the huge argument between, mouse and keyboard is greater than controller, and people say, oh no, controllers are better than mouse and keyboard, which is just complete nonsense. Mouse and keyboard is definitively better than a controller.
It's more accurate, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not even close, You stick somebody on a mouse and keyboard in a Twitch-based game versus a controller, and they'll just decimate them. It's not even close. But I would imagine that once you step it up again into the sort of where you are just literally, it is your immediate reaction time and what have you, it becomes it will add that increased bit that we're still missing slightly on mouse and keyboard.
Maybe we'll get some kind of device in the future that acts as a mouse, and then when you want to go into VR, something changes with it, and that becomes your VR controller as well. Like,
remember the Nintendo Glove and stuff like that, and things and what have you, these sort of things, all well before their time.
Yeah, maybe we have to go back to the beginning to go forward.
Yeah,
maybe the Nintendo Glove is the future, that kind of thing.
Or Musk's chip will just literally, it will be in your brain, and it will just be the reaction in the game or the movement in the game will be no different to the thought process of lifting up my arm.
Yeah, I think we're going to take a few generations to get there, because I think I don't know about you, but my generation, I don't feel comfortable with the idea of having a prototype chip put in my head.
I don't know. I think I'd try it.
Do you?
Yeah. I think I'd be up for it.
It's if something goes wrong, right? What if something goes wrong and something mucks up, and then your brain's thinking it's in sleep mode, and then you fall asleep?
But what if it goes right? I mean,
it's a big risk, though, isn't it? With
I guess
your life.
I mean, I think it would be. I think it's quite exciting. Definitely,
it is. Yeah.
I mean, I'd be up for trying it.
Yeah.
I'd seriously consider it. If Musk came to me now and was like, I want a prototype putting a chip in your brain, I'd tell him yes.
There you go. Maybe I can clip this and send this to Elon Musk on Twitter. He looks at a lot of tweets, and maybe he's got some gaming plans. I mean, maybe Elon Musk is the future gaming mastermind. Who knows? But that we could have a whole other chat on that, I think, Alex.
Yeah, that's a whole new topic. Yeah, definitely.
We should come back to that. Absolutely.
Yeah, we can do that next week, maybe.
Yeah. So I had here PCR Awards. Now, for people watching this who aren't aware, PCR Awards, aka used to be known as PC Retail Magazine. I was the editor of PCR for about 3-4 years. They do their annual awards where they celebrate achievements in the industry, good practice, technology component provider of the year, distributor of the year, that kind of thing. Now, you were there last week, Alex, is that right? How did that go?
Last week before?
Or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, it was great. At the was at the Grand Connaught Arms down in Holborn, and it was a really good evening. Just really, great people from the industry that I got to really. Like the guys from Nvidia and stuff, where are our graphics cards? Like really got to lay into some people and try and what's happening? Where's the graphics cards? And oh, they're coming. All these sort of. I mean, it was a really good evening. There was all of the guys were down there as AMD and Intel, and all the big companies from the UK, overclockers, obviously Alpha Beta ourselves were there, especially MSI. All the sort of big companies and stuff and what have you around the UK. And it was a really good evening. MSI took home a few awards, and AMD as well, and who else now? A couple of other. The winners are on the website though if you go to the PCR thing. But it was a good evening. Got to grill a few people, and it's always good when they're drunk as well because they offer up so much extra information.
Oh, don't I know? And listen, I'm not saying I'm a bad journalist, but in the past where I've been to events and things, especially when there's drinking, the things that people tell you, I would never do it, but I'm sure some journalists out there probably sneakily used a voice recorder or whatever. I would never obviously advocate doing that, but some of the stuff that gets told, it's like, my gosh. If you're a reporter for The Sun or something, that's probably your dream.
I imagine there are probably some reporters and journalists down there with that going on,
Yeah.
But no, it was a good evening. It was a really good evening. It was just nice for. It's been a while since I've been to any kind of tech event. Obviously, with the pandemic, I think actually last one would have been back in summer of 2019, so almost over 2 years ago. Damn. So and obviously next coming up is Vegas, you know, for CX. So
Yeah, cool. That's
looking
come
forward
around
to
quickly,
that.
hasn't it? In January. Yeah, and
Yeah, so
they've
looking
done some
forward to that.
esports bits over the years as well, little bits and pieces. I think
Yeah.
so. It'd be interesting to see if you know, they do more of that. And on that note, just before we wrap up, Alex, there was a couple of announcements I had in my inbox. SteelSeries, the official partner for the Dota 2 International, which starts very shortly, or may have started by the time you watch this video, and Scuff controllers have teamed up with Team Vitality for a new controller, which looks nice. What are your thoughts on these sort of esports partnerships, Alex, in the hardware space?
I mean, obviously, you know, partnerships and sponsorships are always going to be. It doesn't matter what caveat of life it is, be it sport, you know, normal physical sports. You know, you got Nike and all these sort of things and what have you, or be it esports with, yeah, as we're talking about SteelSeries and Scuff and things. There's always going to be, you know, sponsors and paid partnerships and stuff like that. And I mean, it's great for the competitors, you know, because they get hooked up with good equipment and all these sort of bits and pieces. And, you know, it's, you know, especially when you've got great companies like SteelSeries, for example, sponsoring Dota 2, you know, all of the SteelSeries equipment is great. I mean, they did do a Dota 2 limited edition stuff. I don't know if it's still available. I guess it is, if they're still doing the sponsorship at the moment, but there was some nice Dota 2 SteelSeries bits with limited edition mice and things like that. But yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's great for the people competing and also for any up and newcomers and stuff like that as well, because a lot of these brands offer kind of what's the best way to just, it's not like, you know, like you have youth football team kind of things, you know. A lot of these brands are now starting to do a similar thing with esports, where they'll have a youth team, as it were, and you know, you get kids interested and stuff like that. I'd actually like to see more of it, to be honest. I'd actually like to see it, you know, these brands going to schools and stuff and offering up these kind of things, kind of like football teams do, you know.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely a lack of big partner integration in the UK. I would like to see more. I would like to see, you know, SteelSeries, Razer, Nvidia, Intel, AMD, all these guys going a little bit further to get people into things like esports and stuff like that. Because I mean, it's to those of us that know, it's good money. You know, it's very good money. It's on par with a lot of other sports things. Obviously, not as big as football or something like that. You know, but there are a lot of other sports events where you're making some serious cash as these people. You know, it's a great potential career to have, and you know, it's just would be really nice to see bigger brands doing these things and going to schools and getting kids interested and stuff like that. And there's probably a million parents out there just screaming blue murder now that I am telling children to get interested in gaming as a potential career. But I mean, it is a potential career. There is very serious. I mean, the Twitch leak recently shows how much money these people make from things like Twitch and stuff like that. You know, if you're good at your game, if you're, you know, same as any sport, if you practice and you become good at it and you become competitive at it, then there is no reason why you cannot make money from it.
Spot on.
So, yeah, I'd like to definitely see more integration from brands in the UK, especially.
I would as well. And some are doing good things. You know, Intel have got involved with esports, with different tournaments and so on here, different partnerships, Epic LAN. We have improved, but I think there's still work to do in that space. I agree with you. So just wrapping up then, Alex, we promised at the start of this video there'd be a giveaway, some game codes and bits and pieces. Maybe you could tell us a bit about what Alphabet is doing there.
Nvidia have kindly given us some game codes to give away for Humankind and the Crysis Trilogy. We're going to put them up on the Instagram. We'll do it on Monday. I believe we're going to put them out. There'll be 4 codes to give away on Monday. It will simply be a case of following our Instagram, liking the post, and then you can comment somebody else to tag in it for potential to win. And we'll be doing the draw on the Friday. And we've spoken to a few other partners as well, as Nvidia, AMD, and stuff like that, and they're going to start providing us with some more codes to give away each month for these videos.
Brilliant. So and that is on Instagram, alphabeta_PC. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, and we'll do a post to push that. To be honest, I'll probably put this video out around Monday, Alex. So that could be good timing.
Sounds good.
So,
Sounds good, Dom.
That was it. That's been a great chat, Alex. I think it's been good 20-30 minutes. It's kind of a bit more bite-sized, and there was lots of interesting discussion points there. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we close the interview?
No, as usual, come and have a chat with Alpha Beta. We're always around. We've had a few people come back to us as well, which has been nice. We're not forcing, got a couple of our systems running up here, as you can see.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask, what system, what are those two systems there? What are those ones?
Yeah, just a couple of our custom glass cases.
Oh, cool.
They're on our website. It's the Edge series.
Yeah.
You can just go to our website and have a look, and then that one's a 3080 and the other's a 3070. One's an i9, one's an i7. Just doing their thing. But yeah, I mean, just lovely. Yeah, just pop to our website. You can have a look at the new Edge series, and the case is completely custom designed for our brand. We've had it designed and we've had it made. It's very light system. This entire system here is about 12 kilograms with everything in it.
Wow, cool.
Very light.
Is that a what size case is that?
Mid-size ATX,
right.
And then the silver bar at the front is a handle, so if you wanted to carry it, you could just easily move it around with that and what have you.
Lovely. Okay.
If you wanted to take it to a LAN or something, there's a lot of people carry their things around to a LAN and what have you. So
yeah, and I think Epic LAN is starting up soon, later this month in
indeed.
October. So it's an ideal time to get a carryable sort of PC. Thanks for your time, Alex. As always.
No problem, Dom. I look forward to speaking to you soon.
Yeah, I think we're going to chat in another 2 weeks or so, right?
Yeah, we are. This one was a bit delayed with everything going on.
That's okay. And everyone else, thank you for watching. Please follow Alpha Beta PC. Check out that competition. Free games, why not? And
yeah, why not?
I will catch you next time.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you, Alex.